I'm back with the next part of our Army of the Dead series, and last time we finally managed to take down the Nightwatch. We took all of the castles along the wall, just to find out at the very end that Stannis has made his way north. Stannis Baratheon and his Lord of Light cult have landed at Eastwatch by the Sea. They have taken the fort from us. It did belong to the Night King's faction, so we didn't realise that the fort was under attack. But I am now going to have to march east. We're going to go all the way across the other side of the wall, and we are going to retake Eastwatch by the Sea for the Undead forces. If we can successfully take down Stannis and secure the wall, we'll start making our way south through Northern Territory. I think we'll probably start with sailing over to Driftwood Hall, because it's an island. If we can just conquer it and get it over and done with out of the way, we can come back to the mainland and just focus on working our way down. At some point we will need to go to Mormont Keep, but since it's on the other side, I don't really fancy going back and forth, so what we'll probably do, we'll march to Eastwatch by the Sea. We'll take down Stannis and his cult. We'll sail to Driftwood. We'll eliminate those. We'll come back to the mainland. We will take a look at this settlement here. If it's been taken by the Undead, great, we can leave it. If it's not under siege by the Undead and it's being attacked by someone else, then we're probably going to have to take it ourselves. But if we can pull that off and get those 3, that will be great. Then we'll probably make our way down the coast and get this section here. Once we've accomplished that, we can then make our way west again, conquering the rest of the Northern Territory. And at some point, we will finally make it to Winterfell. I don't know how long that's going to be. It may take us a little while with the amount of settlements in the north, but at one point, Winterfell will fall. We will accomplish something that the Undead could never accomplish in the show. We will actually bring an end to the Starks. But for now, we march to Eastwatch by the Sea. Oh, it's already being besieged by the others. Well then, someone has beat us to it, it seems. We'll still march in that general direction, as we want to take all the other settlements, and if we get there in time, we can help the others. Well, it looks like we will be fighting side by side with the Great Walrus once more. Lord of Bones is nearby, but since we're 2 different factions, the AI won't automatically join them. So he's just going to stand there awkwardly and watch the fight. Well, this battle shall be interesting. There is no enemy militia. There's 20 of them, so it's basically non-existent. But that's not what I'm concerned about. We have the garrison of Eastwatch by the Sea. They are going to be some of the finest Dragonstone troops that serve under Stannis Baratheon. Our undead soldiers will be no match for them, but we do have the superior numbers. It's just a question of how many are we going to lose before we finally take them down. But enough rambling, it is time to head to the battlefield. Eastwatch by the Sea is one of the smaller castles we're going to attempt to take. As you can tell, the wall doesn't stretch out that far, so there's not enough room for all of the archers to spread across, which is great for us because it means we should suffer less losses by the time the siege equipment arrives. Although that being said, come on men, put your backs into it. Well, there goes the siege tower. Well, we're going to have to use the ram by the looks of things. We do have ladders somewhere that the men are getting ready to climb. Maybe we should start climbing those ladders sooner rather than later. By the time the ram arrives, we may suffer too many losses. And the way the catapult fire is going, the ram may not arrive. Climb, undead soldiers! Climb and bring an end to the land of the living! Forwards, men! Well, I would signal them to go forwards, but I can't lift the damn ladder. There we go. And now the undead soldiers are on the move. We're suffering too many losses. We can't hang around and wait for the ram. We need to attack now. And those are the armored knights we were talking about. The first time we've had to face an opponent like this. Can we eliminate them, or will they take us down? Maybe I shouldn't have gone in on my own. Hang on a minute, I can't seem to get in anyway. They have a little barrier in the way. What's going on? And we're in. And the battle has begun. And the battle shall soon come to an end. I am being absolutely clobbered. Where are my undead forces? I need backup, men. I think I've sustained too much damage. I'm not going to be useful. The men need someone else to lead them. The amount of archers in the background are probably going to eliminate me. I've managed to take down most of the infantry at least. Well, that being said, more reinforcements have arrived. It is a little skirmish in the bedroom. Never thought I'd be saying that, but this is where we are, I guess. I'm sure there are more appropriate areas to have our battle to the death. At this point, I think I'm just going to try and eliminate as many as I can and just hope for the best. I think it's inevitable that at some point we're going to fall in battle. I don't think we're going to be able to take them all down. Although that being said, there is no stopping me. All shall fall to the ice blade. None can stop the undead now. There seem to be more archers up the stairs, so we shall eliminate those. We have a Queensman in front of us, but they don't really seem to be reacting to us. And they have been eliminated, and the undead forces are just running through them. I think we have finally won this battle. It is over, men. It is over. I'm starting to look like a little bit of a pincushion with the amount of javelins and arrows I have in me right now. But somehow, we pulled off a miracle and we actually survived. I really wasn't expecting this. I thought we were going to fall with the way it went in the beginning. But we have pulled it off, men. We have done it. Eastwatch now belongs to the undead once more. As for that guy up there, I wish him all the best. Well, I think he's dead. After successfully winning that battle, the wall is once again under the control of the undead. But not only that, I've just noticed that the undead have taken the settlement to the south of us, and they've also taken another castle. I don't know what's happened, but since taking down the free folk, we must have awoken something inside the Night King. He must have seen my army taking down the land of the living, and it must have inspired him to finally launch his attack. Because since we've gone south of the wall, there is no stopping him. His undead forces are currently running through everyone. But just as the Night King is picking up momentum and eliminating the living, we must do the same. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to sail over to the island. We are going to take down Driftwood. I believe Driftwood doesn't actually belong to the north and it's a standalone faction. So once we sail over, take the settlement, that's it, they're gone. There is nothing else left over here. And because it's a settlement on its own, we shouldn't have to worry about them raising a massive army or anything like that. We should be able to sail in, lay siege to the settlement and eliminate them. And then we continue our attack against the north. Well, this is interesting. The militia is non-existent and there's a garrison of 120 soldiers. We're not going to be able to starve them out because they've got about 40 days worth of food. And I know our usual tactic is to starve them, and if we did starve them, we could just take the castle without a battle. But to wait 40 days... I'm sorry, man. I know the undead don't have to sleep and rest, but I've got better things I can be doing in the next 40 days. But not only that, we have just received word that House Glover have laid siege to one of the castles on the wall. Shadow Tower is the castle on the far side of the wall. I didn't want to head back in that direction because I didn't want to keep going back and forth. But if that's where the north is launching their attacks, we may have no choice. We may have to eliminate this castle and then march all the way back. If I do end up marching all the way back, I'll probably eliminate House Glover and then we'll sail over to Mormont Island. But that does depend on whether the Lord of Bones or Mance Raider doesn't rescue Shadow Tower. If no one comes to its aid, then it'll be no choice but to be us. But if someone does rescue them, then I probably won't bother. But enough rambling, let's lay siege to Driftwood. There are so few defenders in this settlement that we're just going to launch the attack. We've built the siege camp and we'll throw everything we have at them. They didn't even have enough time to build a single catapult, which is great for us. Alright, undead soldiers. You know what must be done. The land of the living must fall. Right now we have about 500, 600 undead wights storming their walls. They won't be able to keep us out forever. You are only delaying the inevitable, my friends. Open the gate now. Join the undead forces. You don't have to suffer anymore. I'm afraid they have ignored my warning. So we have no choice but to climb and eliminate them. The enemy shall attempt to make their final stand, but it's only a matter of time before the undead overwhelms them, and they're already falling back to a different position. Never mind, backup has arrived, it seems. I have to respect the fact that the enemy won't give up as easily, but it is pointless, my friend. You have no chance of survival. We shall soon add them to the list of kingdoms that have been eliminated. I knew they were only a small one with only one settlement on an island, but it is still a kingdom that shall exist no more. Eliminate them all, my soldiers. Eliminate them all. And the kingdom is no more and we have captured their leader. It was mentioned previously that actually if you capture this leader you could get a unique mount if you talk to them, but because we're a Whitewalker we can't actually talk to anyone. If we take a quick look, whenever we interact with anyone, this is what we get. So in that case, we are going to execute the man. Welcome, my friend. You are now a Whitewalker, one of my loyal generals. But now that the Battle of Driftwood is over, we are going to have to sail back to the mainland and attempt to rescue Shadow Tower from the north. I don't know what kind of army we're facing. I don't know if we're going to have backup or anything. We're just going to have to run as quick as we can and hope for the best. We have just received word that Fist of the First Men is also under attack. And hang on a minute, there's another enemy army going for Nightfort. My kingdom, the land of the living, is fighting back. They're trying to drive us north of the wall once more. My friends, it is too late. We will not be defeated. Shadow Tower has fallen, just as we arrived. We were a second too late. But not only that, the governor that I left to rule Shadow Tower has been executed. We have lost one of our generals. The land of the living is truly fighting back. Shadow Tower might have fallen and is now in the hands of the living once more, but there is still time to save Nightfort. We can eliminate this army of 600 and we have an opportunity to capture 7 Northern Lords. If we capture them all, execute them all, we'll have 7 brand new generals and that'll make up for the one that we lost. I may have underestimated the enemy. Infantry, you are going to have to form a square. The enemy is made up of hundreds of cavalry. This is not ideal. This may actually be an absolute slaughter. I was not expecting to face over 300 enemy knights. The cavalry is coming, men. Alright, my cavalry is just going to have to charge at the enemy. Some of them have broken off in an attempt to eliminate me. This is not great. This may actually be the end of my undead army. What have I done? What have I led the soldiers into? They're all knights. I have not made this mistake in a while, but I believe I have once again underestimated the land of the living. Infantry, stand your ground in a square formation, men. You need to be tightly compact or the knights will run through us. Regroup, men. Regroup. Quick, soldiers. This is truly going to be devastating. Cavalry, I need you to eliminate the enemy archers. Why can I not target them? Are we too close to them? I can't get a proper angle on the enemy ranged troops. But if we're going to win this battle, we're going to have to form a tightly compact square. We can't allow the cavalry to run through us. We have to form a blockade. Quickly, men. Form the square. Seal up the gaps. Don't allow the cavalry through our ranks. Hold position, men. There's so many enemy knights and I don't know how we're going to eliminate them. I may have to step down my horse for this one and join the battle. I have to eliminate as many as possible. My soldiers are not equipped for this battle. The undead horde must remain strong. We must stand side by side, bone to bone. Don't allow a single enemy to push through our ranks. If the cavalry can't squeeze their way through, it's great for us. We can eliminate them one by one. Just keep fighting, men. They are slowly working their way through the square though. But I have to have faith in the soldiers that the formation will hold. Fight as one, men. Fight as one. The undead horde must not fall here and now. We have come too far to be eliminated by the living. The enemy are trying to force their ways through the square, but it's not going well for them. And I think we're actually winning. There are reinforcements on the way. I need my cavalry. Okay, I say my cavalry. We have 4 horses on the battlefield right now. We're going to have to eliminate these infantry here, and then we're going to have to charge the enemy's ranged troops. Otherwise, they're going to sit back and eliminate us. We don't have shields. So although the square is great for taking down cavalry, the ranged troops are just going to slowly thin our numbers. Just a little bit longer, men. Just a little bit longer. Do not falter. Do not break formation. Stand as one. Surely there can't be many more left. We're still being hit by cavalry. I thought we would have eliminated them all at this point. How many of them can there be remaining? Alright, undead soldiers. Don't follow me, actually. Charge, men. Break formation. Strike out at the enemy. This is where we shall eliminate them now. We have held our ground long enough. And I have fallen. It is now in the hands of the undead. I wish you all the best, men. It was a truly devastating battle, hundreds of casualties on both sides, but the undead army has come out on top. They have finally taken down the enemy. We have defeated the enemy army. We have replenished the garrison, and with the amount of renown that we earned from that battle, we can recruit a new party in the clan. So we're now going to have 4 armies on the battlefield. But not only did we take down the enemy, if we go to our party, we captured all 7 of the enemy lords that we faced on the battlefield. So we shall execute them all, and they shall join my army. I believe it's a fair trade. The land of the living take one of my castles, and they execute my governor. In retaliation, I execute 7 of them. But now we're going to have to quickly make our way north of the wall once more. We now have to run to the aid of Fist of the First Men. We have just received word that Nightfort is under siege once more. You've got to be kidding me. We just eliminated an army of about 600. Now we're about to face an army of 250, which shouldn't be a problem. It's the remnants of the Night's Watch, so we should be able to eliminate them, and that will probably be majority of the Night's Watch gone. I don't even think we're going to have to join the battle, to be honest with you. We should be able to sweep through them without taking many casualties. We must now make the journey south once more in order to defend Nightfort, but the army has just become a whole lot stronger. By eliminating these smaller armies, we are now up to over 1,000 soldiers. Once all of the wounded recover, we should be unstoppable. We have made it south once more. The enemy had not launched their attack on Nightfort yet, since there are only 350 of them. And this time round, we're not facing an entire cavalry army. So the undead soldiers are just going to charge head on. There's no point hanging around. We may as well get this battle over and done with. The cavalry, on the other hand, will follow me, and we will strike the enemy from the side. Once we eliminate this northern army, we'll need to plan our next move. We're at Nightfort right now, which is right next to Shadow Tower, so we could launch an attack on Shadow Tower in order to retake it for the undead. That would line us up nicely then to launch an attack on House Glover, and then we can travel over to the Mormont Island. But the infantry shall soon engage the enemy in combat, so we're going to make our way around the back and strike them from behind. Quickly, cavalry! On me! Oh, never mind, we're leaving the battlefield. That was not part of the plan. Alright, cavalry, attack, men! If we hit them with a surprise attack from behind, we can disrupt their formation and the undead can make their way through them. Although that kill feed is looking a little red. Maybe the infantry didn't quite get the memo. Okay, the kill feed is looking very red. This is fine though. It's usually what happens with the undead army. The first initial attack we get absolutely slaughtered, but then our number advantage kicks in and the kill feed will soon turn green. I hope. Our opponents are getting a lot stronger with the armor and weapons that they have. So that is going to prove to be a problem. But we can't let that stop us. We have to just keep pushing forward. My horse is half dead, so we're going to jump down and join the infantry, I think. I may be of more use to the soldiers if I'm on the battlefield with them. Well, I say on the battlefield with them as if I wasn't with them when I was on the horse. Or I mean boots on the ground. It might inspire the men. And the undead horde has cut down the enemy. I told you this would happen. In the beginning, we suffer heavy losses as we try to breach their defensive ranks. But as soon as we start to make our way in, it is over for the enemy. The swarm will always come out on top. I am now being gang attacked by a bunch of northern soldiers. It looks like we're pretty much done here. We're just going to try and clean up on the last few survivors. I don't know what's going on in this big huddle. Is someone stuck? What is going on, men? Do you require my assistance? Is there anything I can help you with? There seems to be a few knights stuck within our ranks, so we shall try to eliminate those. But other than that, I think the battle is over and the enemy have been defeated. We have eliminated the enemies and secured our land for now. I have replenished the garrison with some of my troops, so we don't have as many as we did have, but we're still looking pretty good. The only issue we have right now is the amount of wounded soldiers that I have. We can't exactly get into many fights when we have 350 soldiers on the sidelines. As for Mance Raider and Lord of Bones, I don't know what they're doing, but they seem to be on a mission. Lord of Bones is outside Winterfell. I'm not too sure what the end goal is. Who knows? Maybe he will single-handedly take down Winterfell for us. As for Mance Raider, he's just gone wandering to the coast. I have no idea. But we are going to have to try and take Shadow Tower, take down House Glover, and cross over to Mormont Island. That's probably going to be the strategy going forward. I don't think there's anything else for us to do right now. My initial plan was to take Driftwood and then work our way down to the Dreadfort, which will line us up nicely for Winterfell. Hornwood looks like it has fallen to the Undead. I don't think that was previously Undead when I last looked. But since we're on this side of the map and we did lose Shadow Tower, the new strategy going forward will probably be to work our way this way, and then we'll work our way down to Baratheon and then across to Winterfell that way. Unless some of our territory finds itself under siege again, in which case we may have to scrap that idea, cross over to wherever is under attack, and if it happens to be Driftwood, for example, then we'll probably change the tactic to focusing back on Dreadfort. Ah man, this is going to be a bit of a pain, isn't it? It's a bit hard to kind of plan when the map is this large, everyone wants you dead, and you have to just keep running around. Rather than actually plan things out, I should probably just say we're just going to react to whatever the living does. That is pretty much the battle strategy. The land of the living will decide who dies first. If they don't launch a counterattack, Mormont falls. If they do launch a counterattack, Dreadfort falls. And in the end, they all fall. So it doesn't matter to me. Winterfell will belong to the undead at some point. I'm hoping north of the wall is secure now. I don't think there's any Night's Watch armies or anything like that still north of the wall. Especially ones that have enough numbers that they can lay siege to one of my settlements. So I want to say north of the wall is secure and we just have to defend the wall and south. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But I'm afraid that's all we're going to have time for now. So as always, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, see ya.